connect with the management of EaseMyTrip. Prashant Pitti joins us now, co-founder. Prashant, good morning. Thank you for joining us. How much of your business you would say has normalized in last 3-4 weeks? Because what we are looking at perhaps are the numbers for a time when things were tough. But the way markets would like to look at your stock is that they would say past is past, let's look at future. How much have your business or how much of your business has normalized?
Well, thank you for having me on the show. Well, firstly, let me just talk about the past quarter and then can talk about the normalization which is happening in this particular quarter. Even in the worst of the pandemic, the second wave, the company has performed exemplary. And we are one of the highest, most profitable travel portal in India. We were able to do PBT of 21 crores, almost 21 crores in the quarter which was severely hit by COVID wave 2. This primarily happened because we were able to negotiate better margins with the airlines and the hotels, and because we have a humongously better lean and cost efficient system running for ourselves. And of course, during the end of the quarter, which was in the end of the June, we started seeing travel pick up tremendously well. As per the, this is basically the industry trend. And of course, the current quarter is going much, much better than the last quarter.
What is the aggregate difference in travel and in hotel booking? Could you give us a sense in the trends so far?
Well, the thing is, we are seeing a lot of people travel these days. The international travel is also opening up. Maldives is picking very well. And the people have been in their homes for really, really long time. And as what we speak about the revenge travel, we are seeing that happening on the ground. The number of queries, the number of bookings, and the number of travel. It's increasing magnifold. And, of course, our travel advisory to the travelers is to travel with utmost precaution, follow the safety measures, and maintain the distance. And we're looking forward for the entire industry to revive.
Right. Prashant, hi, morning. As I see your details for the quarter gone by, your airline revenue was holding good as it did in the last quarter. Is it that you were able to get more commission because of advanced deposits? And is this a sustainable trend?
Well, it has been, thank you, Aisha, for asking this question. Even though the total bookings fell when you compare quarter on quarter, but if you compare quarter, which was a year before, the total number of bookings increased because the quarter, which was a year before, was hit by pandemic wave 1. So overall, for this particular quarter, compared to Q4 of FY21, the number of bookings definitely decreased because of COVID wave 2. However, we have been maintaining a very good margin with the airlines because of the advances, as you rightly said. We have been able to get good margins from them, and because of which the company is pretty profitable.
Sure. You have this travel carnival going on, Prashant, as I understand, the purpose of which is to provide exciting new offers to customers. It's valid only till 22nd August, as I understand. You talked about Maldives and how you're seeing bulk bookings there, and that's where I guess all the glitterati is heading. But what trends have you seen so far in your bookings? What are the destinations people are most comfortable traveling to?
See, domestic people are usually traveling towards the hill right now to take a break. Internationally, as I said, that there are quite a few destinations which people are exploring. But besides the flight booking, we are also seeing a lot of action happening on bus side, on train side. To give you an idea, for the entire FY21, our non-air transaction, which is hotel, train, bus put together, was 2.55 lakh. But for the first quarter of FY22 itself, that number stood at 1.95 lakh, which is that almost 77% of last year's entire transaction of non-air was fulfilled in just one quarter. This is how the strong trend we are seeing, and that too in the quarter which was hit by pandemic. This should also give you some glimpse of how EaseMyTrip is gaining strong momentum in non-air bookings as well.
Hi Prashant, this is Mubina as well joining in. I just want to get back to the airline business, and yes, the profitability has increased, but also, discounting, I understand, has come down. Your marketing expense as well has reduced on a sequential basis. My question is when you have individuals looking for airlines online especially, what they want is a good deal. So if you cut your discounts, if you try to control your discounts, do you see it immediately impacting customer bookings on your website?
Well, EaseMyTrip runs at a very different model, Meena. Since the last 13 years, we have always provided customers an option not to pay convenience fees. And this is primarily the reason why we have been growing leaps and bounds. In fact, if you look at the history of the company, this company is an exception. We are the only e-commerce company probably in the world which has never raised money and still reached the level of the IPO. Our growth primarily was driven by the word of mouth, not by the fact that we spent aggressively on marketing. I believe that in the last 13 years put together, we may have spent around 70-80 crores on marketing put together in 13 years, while the industry leader in FY20 itself has spent about 1,260 crores just in 1 year. That's the magnitude of the difference. And yet we are inching closer towards them in the air segment side. I'm sure I must have mentioned a number the last time when I was on your show. When you compare the air segments between EaseMyTrip and the industry leader, in FY19, they were 5.6 times bigger than us. In FY20, they were 4.2 times bigger than us. And in FY21, they were 2.7 times bigger than us. Now, in the recently concluded quarter of FY22, they are 2.3 times bigger than us. So even in this quarter, we have inched closer towards them.
Okay, that's very interesting indeed. Now, I know you briefly spoke about it in your previous answer about the growth in the non-airline segments. So if you could share a little more on that, hotel booking, etc. How did that grow? How is that growing rather, especially in the last couple of weeks? We are saying about how revenge travel is for real. So, are you seeing increased traction for that segment? And you did mention that, hotel booking will be one of your focus areas when your IPO had launched.
Absolutely. To be honest, we are focusing a lot on non-air segments since last 6 months, and the results are for the showing. As I mentioned in the last conversation, the non-air transaction for Q1 stood at 1.95 lakhs, right? If you compare it with the corresponding quarter, which was last year, it was mere 7,900. So it jumped from 7,900 to 1.95 lakhs, year on year. So the company is heavily focused on increasing our market share in other aspects, which is the hotel, bus, train. The best means by which we are doing this right now is basically cross-selling. We already are the second largest player in air ticketing segment. Whenever somebody is booking, let's say a Delhi-Bombay flight, we are able to send them an email saying that these are the top 5 hotels in Bombay according to their preferences, and these are the prices. Now, our strategy in hotel department is also very different than our competitor. We do not work, we have very few hotels with whom we work directly, but instead we have 23 aggregators on the back end, and these aggregators provide us the hotel rates. For example, let's say if you are searching for an XYZ hotel in Bombay, my competitor will have a direct relationship with that hotel and probably will get one pricing. But in my system, I will get 23 different suppliers providing me rates for that particular hotel. And whoever is providing me cheapest price, I will show that price to customer. So chances of hotel prices being cheaper on EaseMyTrip are much, much higher compared to the other portals.
Right. Given how competitive your industry landscape is turning out to be, Prashant, help us understand what really are the plans going forward. Are there any investment or capex plans that you may have outlined for yourselves to try and enhance your digital presence?
Since the IPO, we have been considering growing inorganically in non-air segments, which is hotel, train, buses. That's something which we are working upon. This is one of the places where there could be some capex involved, but otherwise on the technology front, we are pretty sorted. We have all the kinds of products which are available at any other OTA, which are for customers to use. And being a technology company, all of our servers are cloud based. So there is no as such fixed infrastructure related cost. And the company is generating profits quarter on quarter. In the December quarter of FY21, we were able to generate PAT of around 20 crores. In March quarter, I believe it was somewhere around 32 crores. And in this current quarter, the PAT was around at 15 crores. So the company is generating profits quarter on quarter. And we look forward to growing organically as well.
Wanted to talk about your tie-up with Just Dial. How's the response from that collaboration, and do things now change with the change of hands at the top?
After the listing, one of the biggest advantages this company has gotten is the mileage. We definitely wanted to have the advantage of being listed. And if you just see the Google trends of how many times EaseMyTrip is searched compared to our competitor, you will see a humongous amount of difference starting March when we were listed. The Just Dial deal is going great. They have millions of customers who visit their Just Dial website and their application. And over there is a very clear EaseMyTrip branding. For any flights which are booked on Just Dial, it is powered by EaseMyTrip. And we look forward for them to continuously encourage their user base to book flight tickets on Just Dial, which is powered by EaseMyTrip.
All right. Exceptionally interesting speaking with you, Prashant. Thank you so much for taking the time and wish you all the best.